Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa. This is Lost My Thread. Today I want to talk to you about the items of clothing that I reached for again and again last spring. It is my Spring Me Made Greatest Hits. I started making these videos at the end of last summer where I rounded up what I wore the most last summer. I then did one in the autumn and in the winter. It's my first time doing a spring roundup. What I really like about these videos though is that I'm looking through what I'm actually wearing the most. So I actually keep a spreadsheet these days. I know it's really nerdy, I don't care, it is what it is. I like to know what I'm wearing, particularly for me to be able to recognize what are the garments that I'm reaching for again and again, but also what are the ones that I'm not wearing, so then I can look to see if there's something I could do to make them more wearable. But what I really particularly think is fun in this video is to share what I'm wearing the most. And it may well be that you might want to have similar garments in your wardrobe. You might then realize, actually, yeah, there are similar things that you're wearing as well. I will put a link to the playlist of the previous seasons because this is again now my 4th season that I'm doing this and I plan to continue. The first couple I feel like will probably be not a huge surprise to people. I will say, as far as my spring and how I break these things up, I'm making one per season. There's 4 seasons, so I'm going a 3-month period from March, beginning of March to the end of May. So bear that in mind as far as the types of garments that I was wearing. In the UK, in London where I live, it really didn't get warm until a good way into May. So it was mostly things that I was wearing on cooler days, but still really interesting to me what I was reaching for, whether it was cooler or whether it was for layering on the warmer days as well. The first one I'm going to tell you about was actually in my most worn winter makes as well. It is these trousers. So there's not a lot to see on the hanger. They're a very fitted trouser. These are the Ultimate Trousers by Sew Over It. This was actually in my Clash of the Pattern series Topmost Trouser Tournament. They were not the winner. It's hilarious to me that in theory there's honestly a lot that I don't love about these trousers, but boy do I wear them a lot. So a big part of why I wear them so much, they're in a really lovely stretch needle cord fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. I love the color. I love this soft, stretchy fabric. I love that they're very high-waisted, so I've been wearing a lot more high-waisted tops, and so I feel like it makes it really easy to pair with a lot of those things. It has a side zip, which initially I was not thrilled about. That was actually a negative point for it. But I've been noticing the more I've been wearing these, particularly higher waisted things, when you sit down, if you have like a zipper fly at the front, it kind of cuts into you in an unpleasant way. Whereas if you have a side zip, it doesn't. You just flat at the front, which is really comfortable. It is a pain to unzip and zip, especially when you have a fuller bust and you cannot see the zipper when you look sideways. If you know, you know. But honestly, I feel like I've gotten used to that to some degree and it's worth it because I really do enjoy wearing these trousers. I like that they're more fitted, so I feel like they can pair with things that are a little bit looser on top or a little bit semi-fitted on top as well. I do think I need to make more of these trousers, but more importantly, I think I need to sew with more of this kind of fabric. Stretch needle cord fabric, it is just lovely. Also, I do just think picking soft fabrics I know are going to be comfortable. This is one that I reach for mainly because they are just so comfortable, but they are also just really versatile. The next one will come as no surprise to anyone who watched my Me Made May videos and also anyone who looked at my stories to see what I was wearing every day. This guy had to come in. This is the Peppermint Pocket Skirt designed by Paper Theory for Peppermint Magazine. It's a free pattern. This I made in March, I think it was March, for the So Frugal Challenge, and I loved it when I made it, but it was really not the weather to be wearing it. I did actually wear it a couple of times at that point because it was such a beautiful skirt. It's very much, you know this skirt when you see it. Like it's a popular one. I get why it's popular. It's got an elastic waist at the top, which makes it really comfortable. It is quite high-waisted as well, and I chose to make mine really very high-waisted just to make it easier to pair with other things in my wardrobe. It has these really cool pockets on the sides, so these are actually part of the side seam. They're a nice wide pocket, quite a roomy pocket. I will say I did play around with the height of where that pocket was because if it's in the wrong point, it can just make you look way more hippie than you are, and I feel like the pocket sits at just the right point. This as well, I will say, when you create the skirt, the first thing you make is the pocket. And I actually removed some of the pocket width so that it was sitting a little bit more flush with the main fabric. I think I removed half of the width that was meant to be kind of excess bagging out, just because I had a drapey fabric, and it's like a heavier drapey fabric. It's a viscose linen fabric, which has quite a lot of weight to it. And I felt like I just didn't want it to be too droopy and too messy. And it still is quite a droopy pocket. So next time I make it, I will definitely just adjust and adapt depending on what fabric I have. But I suspect I probably will always remove a little bit of that fullness in the pocket. This skirt is so wonderful in the spring, definitely. So I was excited when I made it, but once the hot weather hit, this has just been on my body all of the time. It pairs really well with so many other things in my wardrobe. Because it's high-waisted, I can wear it with higher-waisted things, but I can also wear it with longer things. It is so comfortable, it is swishy, it moves around really well. I love the color. I did not have a ton of green in my wardrobe leading into the spring, and I've been gradually getting a little bit more and more green in there. But because I don't have so much green already, it just means that there's so many things that I can pair it with. And I feel it looks like really great with t-shirts, but also tank tops, with blouses. It's just a great pairing piece, and it's definitely one that I've been wearing a ton. And I am absolutely planning more peppermint pocket skirts in my life. Highly recommend this pattern. Next up is my first Marlo sweater by True Bias. So this is a really beautiful petrol blue. It's called a soft knit fabric. It's a viscose soft knit. It's like a poly viscose blend. It has a really nice amount of drape and movement to it. I will say I was a bit disappointed when I washed this one that it pilled quite a lot, so it just looks really rough. It's hard to know what's going to come across on the screen, but I can always pop in images if it's not looking very obvious. This fabric though is so soft and it has quite a lot of weight to it, which feels so cozy and snuggly when you're a little bit chilly. I use these Pigeon Wishes buttons. They are so pretty. I got both the buttons and the fabric from Sew Me Sunshine. I was really excited to make this one up. I felt like it was going to be a really great staple in my wardrobe, and it really has been. When I washed it and had that pilling, it actually stopped me from making it for a while because I wasn't sure if I was going to wear it. I felt like it might just look a little bit messy. But because the nature of the sweater, it has like an oversized look to it. It's supposed to be like a granddad, grandpa style cardigan. And I feel like it just looks worn in a loved way, not in a messy way. And I really like pairing this one with tops like t-shirts and jeans, but also pairing it with dresses, over skirts. I'll put this over pretty much anything as long as the colors go. And I feel like it just looks really cool, on trend. It feels really comfortable. It's got quite a big balloon sleeve as well, which makes it really easy to pair more of like a fuller sleeve underneath as well. Just, yeah, all around, really comfortable, really versatile. I've made more of this pattern before, but this one, this soft, cozy knit one, it is just my go-to. And because spring is very much a layering time of year for me, I also wore my Blackwood cardigan by Helen's Closet all the time. So this one is in a really lovely soft rib knit fabric that I got from Sister Mintaka. It's like a marled gray. I think this being a lighter color just made it feel like more of a go-to for spring. So it pairs with so many different things because a light gray is basically not going to contrast with anything. But it also just felt kind of light and bright. I didn't necessarily want to be wearing really dark colors in the springtime. And this one, it's comfortable. The style and the shape of it, I am such a big fan of. I really do like the Blackwood cardigan. It's quite fitted along the sleeve, and because this is a rib knit, it still has quite a lot of stretch to it, so I was able to layer it over things quite well. It has generally a bit of a longer sleeve, which feels extra cozy. I like the drapiness of this fabric. I feel like it works really well with this longer silhouette, and this is another one that I feel like it looks so great over dresses, over just t-shirts and jeans, over blouses, skirts and tops, like basically jumpsuits, anything. This one I pair over it and it just looks really together, and I feel like it's a really great one that feels both cozy but also can feel quite smart and professional for wearing for work as well. Really do love this cardigan, and it's definitely one that I wear all the time in the spring. And the one other item that I reached for the most this spring was this dress. This is the Mayfair Dress by Nina Lee. It's not gonna come across a lot as I'm holding it up. Obviously, you'll see some photos and get the idea, but it is in this really gorgeous fabric. I really do love the colors on here. It's a lovely blue. It's like a navy, but it's not a dark navy. It's kind of like a brighter navy blue, which I really like. The floral print on there just absolutely floors me every time I see it. I really do love it. This is a double brushed poly fabric that I got from Melanated Fabrics. All of my American friends out there have been telling me the joys of DBP, double brushed poly. It is impossible to find good prints of double brushed poly in the UK. So I had some of this fabric delivered to my parents and it did not disappoint. This fabric is so soft, it is so lovely, it is so cozy, and it surprises me because it's a polyester fabric. I generally stay away from polyester. I don't sweat in it, which I find weird. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not sweaty, I'm not stinky when I wear it. Bit too much information anyway, but honestly guys, it is really comfortable to wear. It feels definitely very much like secret pajamas, but it has a lovely drape to it as well, and this dress is such a beautiful design in general. I love the shape of it. There's really beautiful shaping across the bust. There's a nice tie that you can either tie at the front or the back. The neckline is just so unique and interesting. You have this, it's all like folds over to create a collar that then wraps down to a V-neck. It goes together really beautifully. There's this crazy point where you're doing this whole massive burrito where you're curling everything up, burrito method if you guys don't know, curling everything up into that back of the neckband, and then when you pull it all out, it's just so beautifully finished. Really satisfying construction. I really did enjoy making this one, and I just love wearing this dress. It feels so pretty and feminine and lovely and elegant, but also just so comfortable. It's one that I wear a lot. I made this one a few years back now, and still, spring comes, I'm wearing it. Winter, I'm wearing it through the winter months, layered with that Blackwood cardigan with some boots and tights. It's a look. It works really well for me, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be my most worn dress in the spring, but the numbers don't lie, guys. It is definitely up there, the top dress that I wore, and easily one of my top 5 items that I wore in the last spring. So tell me, are you guys a total geek like me and has a spreadsheet of what me made items they're wearing? Whether you do or you don't, I also just want to know, what are your most worn me-made items for the last season? Whether it's actual figures or just an inkling of what you wore the most. I feel like any item of clothing that one of us is going to wear an absolute ton, so many of us are also going to really appreciate having in our wardrobe. So I feel like it's a really good way to get inspiration for some really nice wearable garments, which at the end of the day is what this whole craft is about. Well, a big part of what this craft is about for me anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing what I wore the most in the last season. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Always make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you guys want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye!